Hello guys, this is One Chunk Redstone, and I have challenged myself to build all of my redstone machines in one chunk each. This is partially because sometimes redstone machines will break if they're half loaded, half unloaded, and so lining them up with the chunks of your world does fix this issue because then they all unload all at the same time. Uh, it's also just a fun challenge, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so it's been a few weeks since I designed this, but I'm going to try to do it from memory. This is a clock slash counter. You can hook it up to a clock like this, and if I just hook this up, you can see it counts fairly fast, relatively compact for what it does, and yeah, I mean, that's just gonna try and do it from memory. You can see you can fit 4 of them into a chunk, and I think you could probably fit 2 of them back to back in a chunk as well if you were really pushing your limits there. But it's 2 blocks below, 2 blocks above, and then if you want to connect them up, there is a glitch that can sometimes happen where this transfer from one side to the other doesn't work quite properly, so you do need an extra block of space down below if you're going to be uh, actually making multiple of these connected up all together. So let's see if I can remember this. I think we're going to go maybe this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to set 2 of them up. We're going to start with this one. I'm going to be connecting them, so it does need to, that's exactly what I need to do there. So it does need to be 1 block up from where the other one is. I'm going to take my input there, and this first one actually can be just like this. It's going to be 8 blocks back, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this final block is going to be up by 1. You're going to need a block on the sticky piston, and then dust in this orientation here. You're going to need a repeater so you can take it through, and this is going to zero tick that pulse. Now, the way that this works is several piston feed tapes, so I'm going to hook up the bottom section of the pistons here. And that's just going to be this block there, and then going from memory, I do believe it looks like that, yes. Okay. But they are supposed to be there. Yep. Okay. Now, you're going to need glass for this next bit. That's 4 blocks of glass with redstone dust like this. First bit of glass. Your first output there is going to be just like that. And actually, I believe this needs to be a repeater with 2 tick delay. And then underneath that, whoop, not there, there, you're going to need 3 pistons all in a line like this. The next bit, so you're going to make this sort of J shape. You're going to break these 2 blocks. They're not important. You need 1 tick of delay here and a single redstone dust there. That's going to be enough. That's going to power these 2 blocks here in this piston. These 2 blocks will power these 2 pistons. This is the bit that I can never remember. Yeah, I need pistons there. And I straight up don't remember how it's connected up, so lots of fun. Do that bit last, then apparently. I think that's 2 dust there and a dust there. And I'll just remember that I need to connect later. Now the bit that I do remember is this. I'm going to do that. Oh, no. Yep, that's looking just about right. Get that over, and then 2 just like that. I'm going to do the same thing here, but just got these 3. That's comparators all over here. Now, fun thing with comparators, we're going to need one there and one there. Then going to need a dust there, and then we need some wool just like that. And that way, every individual comparator leads to leads to one piece, such as this comparator leading to here, with the exception that both of these two comparators lead to this top one, but they do not reach all the way over to the other sides because it'll only go for 3. So now I need to power this. Great. And I've got 2 blocks up to do it, which means I've got something like this probably. That's not going to work though, so my best guess is that we're doing something like that. I'm going to check. Oh, nope. Got to go all the way across. Okay. So that's one side all completed, and we can just test that by powering either this block, this line in some way, this line. Get that 1 tick meter there. The goal is to have all 3 of those across. You'll see that that does happen. I won't get into the pattern for filling these in. There's 3 rows here. You're going to fill this in, and then you're going to fill this in, and then you're going to fill this in. It goes all the way. Each of those layers goes all the way up to the top. And I'll put some screenshots in at the end of the video for how to do that. Now, the process for connecting it up is fairly simple and relatively complicated at the same time, because I don't remember how this works. We're going to go back and look. Right, a comparator. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I did remember how that worked. This block here is going to be powered, and so we can take a comparator output out of it. You can see this lines up just with that right there. It's 3 long. But you will find that if you try to put a sticky piston here, you will accidentally power this normal piston here. And that's not a problem on this side, because this one ends up powering this whole line anyway. But this one is not supposed to power that one. It is supposed to power these ones here, but we'll get to that in a moment. The solution to this, it's fairly simple. You're just going to take this whole deal here, these 3 blocks, and you're going to move them down. Still going to have dust there, still going to have a repeater here, and the repeater is actually just going to go straight into that block, like that. This, because it's, if this redstone dust wasn't here, this would power this, but because this is here, that's no problem. Now we can do the redstone dust line, just like this. And I can hopefully remember how this all works. There's supposed to be a repeater there. The dust there. And some pistons, just like that. Okay, perfect. That goes there. I can put, whoop, there's no need for that. I can put a dust there. And that will work just perfectly. Take this over, just like that. And this here is going to go. Now this bit gets a little bit different, because you don't want to have dust coming up connecting with this here. What you can do is just put a block straight up onto it. And that's still within that 2 block space, so you're not actually taking up extra space. But then you can't connect here either, so what you're going to do is just come around the back and connect up like that, which works perfectly. First, you're going to need a display. We actually don't need this anymore because we know what this is. You've got this here, that there, and if you wanted to make another off to the side, you put a comparator there, and you just keep going exactly like what we did over here. 3, 1 up, break that middle one. 3 line, 1, break the middle. Comparator, dust, dust, yep, that's correct. You're going to need a dust, or not a dust, a block there to break this connection to those. We don't want this connecting to that. And we also just need this space here. Whoop, sideways. This will all connect up. It's perfectly fine because we're going to disconnect all of them so they're all straight lines. We're going to put that there, and then block there, so that we've got a straight line going into all 3 of these top ones here. Now, there's 5 different types of blocks that we're going to need, and I honestly don't know what I did with all of my... Oh, there we are. Okay, so there's 5 different types of blocks, and I've got them here. We're going to have solid blocks. We're going to have transparent blocks. I like to use glass for this. There's going to be 3 different types of cauldrons. Cauldrons with 1 bucket, 2 buckets, and 3 buckets, or bottles of water, not buckets. 1 bottle of water, 2 bottles of water, 3 bottles of water. Now, the actual pattern for this, it's the same for all of them. And it's going to start out in position 0, and then as this goes around, it's going to be... Oh no, that was right. It's going to move around and change position. So this is a solid block there. And that's a bucket, or that's a cauldron with 3 water bottles. That cauldron also has 3 water bottles. That one's got 2. That one's got 3. This one here has 2. This one on top has 3. This one also has 3 up on the top. This one's also going to have 3. There's a lot of 3s in this one. Now, these 2 here are both going to get 1 each. And if we look at that, we've already got our 0 starting to form. Now for this inside layer, this one's a little bit more tricky. This dust is going to be there. It's not going to be affected. You need solid blocks in those positions. Oh, and I may as well note that these don't need to have anything here. You can use solid blocks. You can use transparent blocks. Don't put a cauldron in there. That's going to have... You could also just use air. You're going to have solid blocks in these positions. All of these outside positions are going to have cauldrons. This center position is also going to have a cauldron, and these don't need anything. Now for the water bottles, this is 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. And this last one, this one's where we start using glass. Glass is going to go there, there, there. Yep. We're going to have a cauldron here, 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 and here. And then these 2 can have nothing. So we've got in this top corner 2. This one here is going to be 3. And then over to the side is 2. This is 1, and that's 2. And now you can see this is already set up. This is a 0. Every time that this reaches 0, this one will become a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3. So on and so forth. It counts all the way up to 99. When it gets to 0, 0, it resets. And you can continue adding on more. This one's broken because I did not drop down to here. But yeah, that's it. Obviously you would put all of this mess into here before you start putting this in. Particularly before you put this side in. You would put this one in before this one. All the cauldrons and the solid blocks and the glass and stuff. But that's it. Yeah. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, I guess. Peace.